This is Radio Taiwan International.
Welcome to the news on Radio Taiwan International. I'm Amanda Stevens, coming to you from Taipei, Taiwan. We begin with a look at today's top stories for Monday, June 23rd. Taiwan is, of course, a country. President Lai. Taiwan braces for economic impact of U.S.-Iran crisis with task force. And a Strait of Hormuz blockade could raise domestic oil prices by 10%. But first, today's top story. President Lai Ching-te emphasized 4 elements that he says, of course, make Taiwan a country in the first of his 10 talks on the country, delivered Sunday evening at a Rotary International joint meeting. The 4 elements outlined in his speech were people, land, government, and sovereignty. Taiwan has linguistically and ecologically been independent since long before recorded history, according to Lai, who emphasized its significance in Austronesian culture. The president added that China's claims that Taiwan is an inseparable part of its ancient history are untrue, and said that the PRC has never ruled Taiwan for even a single day. Lai also challenged Taiwan's claim over Taiwan based on a misinterpretation of UN Resolution 2758, which he said only deals with the issue of UN representation. Lai doubled down, stating that whether it's called the Republic of China Taiwan, or Taiwan, it is an independent, sovereign state. The president additionally outlined 5 major threats Taiwan is facing due to China, including threats against sovereignty, infiltration of Taiwanese forces and espionage, muddling of national identity, infiltration through cross-strait exchanges, and attracting Taiwanese businesses and youth to China via development programs. Lai said he wants to clarify national identity and clear up confusion, making unity Taiwan's most solid line of defense. Potential price fluctuations loom over Taiwan following U.S. military strikes against 3 of Iran's key nuclear sites. Scholars explain that Iran is threatening to retaliate by both attacking U.S. military bases and blocking the Strait of Hormuz, which could cripple global trade. A war in the Middle East would send shockwaves across the globe, according to Taiwan Institute of Economic Research Director Sun Mingde, who suggests keeping an eye on the financial market. Taiwan's economic growth for the second half of 2025 is estimated to slow to only 1%, as outlined by the central bank, a sharp drop from the 5 to 6% seen in the first half. Sun notes that Taiwan may need to focus on boosting domestic demand to help offset the risks imposed by inflation and its effects on the financial market. The cabinet on Monday announced the formation of a price stabilization task force, which will monitor international market trends and implement timely measures to prevent sharp fluctuations in domestic prices caused by external shocks. The cabinet says this newly formed task force will continue closely monitoring global developments and responding flexibly to safeguard the well-being of the Taiwanese people and economy. Over the weekend, the United States intervened in Israel's war on Iran, bombing several nuclear facilities and stoking fears that Iran may order a blockade of the Strait of Hormuz. Economic Minister J.W. Kuo said that if that occurs, 20% of Taiwan's crude oil and 25% of Taiwan's natural gas supply would be affected. The Strait of Hormuz is a choke point for the global oil supply chain, connecting the Persian Gulf to the Arabian Sea. About 1/5 of the world's oil and natural gas are shipped through it daily, according to CNN and U.S. State Secretary Marco Rubio. Following the U.S. attack on Iranian facilities, the Iranian parliament on Sunday passed a motion approving a blockade of the strait, which they control the northern side of, after which Rubio called on China to persuade Iran to keep it open. Speaking before the legislature Monday to report on the situation, Economic Minister Kuo spoke about the potential effects on Taiwan's crude oil and natural gas supply should Iran blockade the strait. Kuo said that there was a cross-departmental assessment last week on the topic, where various simulations were conducted, although the details could not be discussed. However, he noted that with estimates that a potential blockade could last up to 6 months, 20% of Taiwan's oil and 25% of its natural gas supply would be affected, likely raising the price of both due to detours. The minister mentioned the possibility of seeking natural gas from Australia or the U.S., but did not mention how that may affect the price. As tensions in the Middle East increase, the price of crude oil has approached $80 a barrel. While Guo assured the legislature that the ministry has formulated responses for oil all the way up to $130 a barrel, domestic oil prices could rise by as much as 10%, also raising the consumer price index by about 0.3%. The Taipei City government has upgraded the Taipei City Mobile Disaster Prevention app to include 3 more languages as Taiwan continues to accept more tourists and foreign residents. The Taipei City Disaster Prevention Office announced today that as extreme climate-related events and other disaster risks loom, they have expanded the language interface for their mobile disaster information application. While the app was already available in English and traditional Chinese, the office has added Korean, Japanese, Indonesian, and Vietnamese language options in an effort to strengthen Taiwan's disaster resilience and improve Taipei's convenience and accessibility even in unideal conditions. The app itself provides users with temperature, rainfall, air quality, and other daily environmental information, in addition to pushing relevant real-time disaster or climate-related alerts based on the user's location. On top of the alert system, the app also has maps and disaster prevention tips, ideally improving overall disaster response capabilities. Another reason for the upgrade, the office says, is to demonstrate that Taipei is an international city, friendly to foreign residents and tourists. The office says it will continue to improve the app, both for the sake of a better disaster prevention and response network, and to jointly create a safer and more resilient city. The first patient in Taiwan to receive a promising new Alzheimer's drug, Kisunla, was welcomed at Far Eastern Memorial Hospital on Monday. Director Qiu Guanming stated that dementia is a heavy burden on the many families who care for those afflicted. He hopes the medication will not only improve the patient's condition, but also bring more attention to and understanding of both patients and caregivers. Lin Fangyu was a cardiovascular surgeon, hospital superintendent, professor, and former health minister before the onset of dementia. Daughter and Far Eastern Memorial Hospital ophthalmologist Mai Ling-Ting said that even if the cost is high, a whopping 1 million NT dollars, over $33,500 for a year's treatment, it is worth a few more years of her original quality of life. Approximately 350,000 people in Taiwan suffer from dementia, with 60 to 70% of cases attributed to Alzheimer's, causing not only personal hardship, but economic issues and more for caregivers. Previously classified as an incurable disease, the advancement of medical and pharmaceutical technology is giving hope for treatments to lessen or even eliminate the debilitating effects of the disease. The new dementia drug, Kisunla, also known by its scientific name, donanemab, and Leqembi, or lecanemab, are showing promising results on treating early-onset Alzheimer's. Far Eastern Memorial Hospital Dementia Center Director Zhen Yuxing stated that though there were many applicants, not everyone is eligible to receive the drug as they might not meet the conditions or are at high risk for side effects. In addition, he added that though Kisunla is being reviewed, it is not currently covered by national health insurance. However, Zhen said that he believes this new course is a milestone in the treatment of dementia. Part of the fun of traveling is to gain new experiences, but at a homestay in Kending, guests sometimes must share a bathroom with the local wildlife.
A Torqueyanna hirtipes or Pacific land crab is an unusual animal to meet, never mind in the toilet of your vacation accommodations. In a homestay in Kending, Pingtung County, 2 or 3 crabs have become full-time residents. They don't require linens or room service, only a toilet in the room. The owner revealed that they appear in the bathrooms most often, but also sometimes make appearances in other places around the property. Retired National Taiwan Ocean University professor He Ping-he explains that this species becomes highly active as a part of normal breeding behavior in the rainy season, which lasts from summer to fall every year in Taiwan. Buildings near the ocean will frequently see these crabs wandering onto the grounds in search of mates. The recent wet and warm weather, coupled with Kending's geographical location, means land crabs are commonly sighted and an alternative, if unintended, tenant for accommodation operators, though they won't shell out any money for their stay. Tristan Hildebrand and Michelle Chang for RTI News.
Thanks for joining me for the news. I'm Amanda Stevens. Stay tuned for another 50 minutes of English language features, brought to you by Radio Taiwan International.
Did you enjoy our program? Do you have any questions or feedback on what you just heard? Email us at rti@rti.org.tw. That's rti@rti.org.tw. And we'll respond to all of your comments. We look forward to hearing from you.